Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule, will, teach, where I learned this truth from. Peace, mercy, and blessings to the hopeful elect that believe on this truth and sincerity. It's your brother Yahawah come back through the spirit and power of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi from the GMS Cleveland branch. Lord willing, this be edifying. As you can see, I titled this Stablish Your Hearts, or minds. Okay, because heart goes back to the Hebrew word la, which speaks, it means your mind. Okay, and to establish your heart or your mind means to make it firm, to strengthen it. And how do we do that? By being occupied in the scriptures, by walking in the spirit, okay, praying to the Lord, first and foremost. But that comes from this precept here in the book of James, chapter 5 and verse 8. Be ye also patient. Patient goes back to suffering, because we have to suffer the wicked things that we see on a daily basis, that we hear on a daily basis. We have to suffer being subject to payments, to have to suffer going to work. Okay, this is all a part of being patient, though. Okay, it says, be ye also patient, establish your hearts. Okay, strengthen your mind. This is the time to be strengthening our mind, because the times that we are in and the times we are coming into, okay, it's about to be a time like never before. Okay, you're gonna see mass death. It's gonna be a lot of people bugging out. Okay, it says, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. Okay, because with Yahawashi, who the world inwardly calls JC, okay, with him getting closer and closer to making his second return, it's gonna get more and more terrifying. Okay, meaning filled with terror. It's gonna be terrific times, filled with terror, fright. It's gonna be a lot of scary things happening. Things that if you don't have the spirit dealing with you, you won't be able to withstand. Okay, if you don't got on the spiritual armor, you will not be able to withstand. A lot of things that'll bug you out mentally. That's why scriptures say, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Okay, and the wisdom and knowledge is in your mind, and we strengthen ourselves according to that. Okay, that's why it says, and let's go to this real quick. Okay, Proverbs chapter 24 verse 5. A wise man is strong, yea, a man of knowledge increases strength. So as you grow in this truth, okay, and the more you apply the scriptures, you become stronger spiritually and mentally. You become stronger. Okay, but those who don't apply the scriptures, they are weak. Okay, if you and none of us perfect. It's times where you slip up. Okay, you make mistakes, but that's where we learn from our mistakes. Okay, via experience. And next time we know, okay, I'm gonna do this next time. Pray. Then when you do slip up, you pray to the Lord, ask him for mercy. And repentance should be a daily thing. It's not a one-time thing. We should be repenting on a daily basis, asking the Lord for mercy on a daily basis, and asking him to help us walk according to the Spirit. Okay, which is the understanding of the scriptures. Okay, let's read it again. Proverbs chapter 24 verse 5. A wise man is strong, yea, a man of knowledge increases strength, because your strength starting with your mentality. Okay, how your spirit is. But let's go back, read that one more time. James chapter 5 verse 8. Be ye also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. You see, so with it getting closer to Yahawashi making his return, it's even more important for us to be in the spirit, okay, and to have the loins of our mind girded up. Can't be letting the things of the world disenchant us, okay, weigh us down. Matter of fact, let's go to that real quick. Yahawashi said it himself. Take heed to yourselves, lest ye be overcharged. Okay, I'm about to grab that. It's the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 34. And take heed to yourselves, okay? And you take heed to yourself by examining yourself, okay? And let's go there real quick. 2 Corinthians, the 13th chapter. Reprobates won't examine themselves. This 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Okay? Because if you say you in the faith, that means you say you believe in Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. You believe in the words. You believe in the reward of applying the scriptures and preaching the word. Okay. So if you doing that, it says, examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahawashi Hamashiach is in you, except ye be reprobate, which means void of judgment. Okay. And if you void of judgment, you are unfit. Okay, proven to not be worthy. Okay. And those who are void of judgment and are unfit, they don't examine themselves. Whether or not they could be doing certain things, or whether or not they are doing things that they shouldn't be doing. Okay, what they could be doing more of, and we all know it's always room for improvement. Because once again, none of us is perfect. We all trying to be like Yahawashi. But the point being, examining yourself is a part of taking heed to yourself. Because if you're not taking heed to yourself, you're not going to examine yourself. So let's go back to Luke chapter 21 and verse 34. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time, okay, at any time. Why? Because we live in this present evil world, which is ruled by Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Everything he pushes out is against the spirit of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Everything he pushes out is hand in hand with the lust of the flesh. Okay, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life. And if you love these things, the love of the Father is not in you, as it says in 1 John, the 2nd chapter. But it says, and take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts, okay, or your mind, be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life. And so that day come upon you unawares. And why will it come unawares? Because you no longer being in the spirit. You no longer doing the things that's required. But it says, the point being, it says, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged. Okay, when we go into that word overcharged, it goes back to being weighed down. Okay, what weighs down the mind? Our minds. Okay, it says with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life. Okay, and surfeiting goes back to drinking wine to excess. Okay, you giving the flesh too much. Okay, you're not giving the spirit enough. Next thing you know, you starting to doubt yourself because you know you're not giving the spirit enough. Okay, and that's weighing down your mind. Okay, that's what it says, with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and also the things of this life. When it said, scripture says, 2nd Ezra the 14th chapter, let go from the mortal thoughts, put off now the weak nature. The weak nature is caring about the things of this world, because nothing that we have belongs to us. Not our women, our children, cars, houses, none of this belongs to us. It's all temporary. Let's go to that real quick. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 18. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. Okay, because the things we don't see, them the things we got faith in. What don't we see? The kingdom of heaven. We don't see righteousness. Well, that's what we hoping in. Okay, and it tell you in Romans 8th chapter, a man is saved by hope. Yahawashi Barakatawa Barakatum. So it says, 2 Corinthians 4 and 18, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen, for the things which are seen are temporal, momentarily. Everything we see is temporary. Okay, the trees, the light poles, this flesh, it's all temporary. But it says, for the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. So if you get weighed down by temporary things, that means you're not focused on the things that are not seen, which are eternal. Okay, it means you starting to draw back from the faith. Okay, let's go to Romans the 8th chapter, since I quoted it. It's the book of Romans chapter 8 and verse 24. For we are saved by hope. But hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why doth he yet hope for? But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. Okay? So we are saved by hope. But hope that is seen. So let me read it again. Romans chapter 8 verse 24. For we are saved by hope. okay, which is hand in hand with faith. And if you got faith in something, you're gonna trust that is gonna happen. Okay, that is gonna do what it's supposed to do. And we got faith and we trust in the word of Yahawashi, which is prophecy. It says, "For we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why doth he yet hope for? But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it." And on top of us patiently waiting for what we hoping in, we gotta do the will of the Most High, you know. And a part of that is establishing our hearts, you know, showing ourselves men. Let's go to the book of Hebrews, chapter 10. So like, this is the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 36. "For ye have need of patience," okay, which goes back to suffering, because we must suffer. The captain of our salvation was made perfect through sufferance. It tells you that in Hebrews, the 2nd chapter. Okay, and the servant is not above his Lord, you know, nor the disciple greater than his master, roughly paraphrased. So if Yahawashi was made perfect, it's gonna be the same with the elect. They're gonna be perfected through suffering. So it says, Hebrews chapter 10, verse 36, "For ye have need of patience, that shall, after ye have done the will of the Most High, ye might receive the promise." After we do the will of the Most High, that's when we gonna receive the benefits. Okay, as it says in 2 Corinthians the 4th chapter, "For our light affliction, which worketh but for a moment," okay, our light affliction is the hell we catch. Verse 37, read Hebrews chapter 10, verse 37, it says, "For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come and will not tarry." You see, so Yahawashi is getting close to returning, which is why, you know, going back to the title of the lesson, we must establish our hearts. We must be strengthening ourselves, okay, in the spirit, and also drawing nigh to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Let's go to Sirach chapter 16. Oh no, it's like it. That's what it was. Before I go there, I'm gonna go to Romans chapter 13. You know, because I was gonna title this "Now is the time." You know, now is the time for what? For us to be strengthening ourselves, because this is like our conditioning for what's about to come. Okay, for the hell that's about to come upon the earth. We already catching hell, but this is just conditioning. Okay, speaking in reference to the hour of temptation, where every man of the Lord will be tempted to forsake Yahawashi, you know. But the Lord ultimately, he gonna get a spirit to those of the elect to not forsake him, to continue to believe, okay, even unto death, you know, to strive for the truth unto death. But this Romans chapter 13 and verse 11, "And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believed." And who was bringing our salvation? Yahawashi. Okay. Let's go to 2 Peter real quick. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 13. "Nevertheless, we according to his promise look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness." Okay, and that new heavens and a new earth is speaking of a new rulership underneath Yahawashi. Okay, which will be instituted in righteousness, if I'm saying that correctly, you know, Salaki. But it says, verse 14 is the point. "Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things," since we looking for, okay, hoping for Yahawashi to return and establish righteousness, it says, "Be diligent that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless." Okay, so seeing that we looking for Yahawashi to return, we must be carrying ourselves a certain way. You know, because earlier in the chapter tell you what manner of conversation ought ye to be in. You know, how should you be carrying yourself? Which takes me back to Romans chapter 13 and verse 12. "The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light." Okay, which is us transitioning from the old man to the new man, which the old man was indulging the flesh. Okay, doing everything according to the flesh. The Most High was not in all his thoughts, you know, because we used to be in the spirit of Esau, Edom. Some more than others. But now we putting on the armor of light, the spirit of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Okay, trusting in the Lord, meditating on the scriptures, putting up prayers. Okay, that's the armor, all the part of the armor of light. But verse 13 says, "Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying," which is everything everybody walking in the flesh and walking adverse to the spirit is doing. Okay, constantly partying. Okay, in a house of mirth, doing everything for vain glory, always trying to debate. Verse 14, it says, "But put ye on the Lord Yahawashi HaMashiach." How do you put on the Lord? By trying to be like the Lord, which is walking in the spirit, Because it tell you in Romans the 8th chapter, matter of fact, just go to it real quick. Romans chapter 8 and verse right to the point, verse 9, "But ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit, if so be that the spirit of the Most High dwell in you." And if the spirit of the Most High is dwelling in you, you're going to walk according to the spirit, because the spirit is stronger than the flesh, But it says, "Now if any man have not the spirit of a Mashiach, he is none of his." Okay, so if you don't got the spirit of Yahawashi, you're not going to be able to put on Yahawashi. But those that are Yahawashis, they're going to be acting as if, they're going to be trying to be like Yahawashi. But we jump back to Romans chapter 13, verse 14. It says, "But put ye on the Lord Yahawashi HaMashiach, and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof." So we shouldn't be following after the flesh, okay? And if you constantly being defeated by the flesh, that's a sign of being weak, which goes back to establishing your heart. You got to strengthen yourself, pray to the Lord first and foremost. It's like it was a, let's go to 1 Peter chapter 4 real quick. 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 1. "For as much then as Hamashiach hath suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that hath suffered in the flesh hath ceased from sin," okay, "that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men, but to the will of the Most High." So that was the state of mind that Yahawashi was in, was doing the work, okay, preaching the word and living of course. He is the word. But in us in this truth, we supposed to arm ourselves with the same mind, okay? Constantly thinking on how to feed the spirit, okay? Now, it's a balance. You got to throw your little folly in, but the folly should be far less than what you give into the spirit, because ultimately we here to do the will of the Most High. We're not here to be the best boyfriend, the father of the year, okay? We're not here to fulfill the lust of the flesh, but to do the will of the Most High, okay? And I read in Hebrews the 10th chapter, "For we have need of patience, that after we do the will of the Most High, then we're going to receive the promise, not after we do what the flesh wants us to do." Matter of fact, 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 11, I'm going to close with this. "Dearly beloved, I beseech you as strangers and pilgrims." Okay, we pilgrims to this, to wherever we may be dwelling right now, okay? Specifically here in America, which is known as Babylon the Great, we are pilgrims. A pilgrim is someone who basically is journeying to a spiritual place, roughly paraphrasing the etymology of that word, And it says, "Dearly beloved, I beseech you as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lusts," okay, which is a part of denying yourself. The things that we may want to partake in, that the flesh may want to partake in, we must abstain from it. Okay, don't do it. Scriptures tell us to mortify our members. Matter of fact, let me go to that real quick. I believe it's in the book of Colossians. It's a lot here. Bear with me real quick. Colossians. Oh, yeah, book of Colossians chapter 3, verse 5. "Mortify Satan attacking. But I forgot what I was saying, but something just came across my mind. The point being, establish your hearts. It's time for us to strengthen ourselves, and we do that through prayer, okay, fasting, and being occupied, and giving attendance to exhortation, reading, and doctrine, as the scriptures say. This is the time to be doing these things, because the time is about to come where we're not about to have access to videos, okay? You might not even have access to your sword, your a Bible. Because Esau, he don't want to do away with the vibration of righteousness, period, which can be found, okay, through the men preaching the word, okay, via the